Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Quarantine. And this episode, we are going to be learning about Big Bear and the Seven Hunters, which is an Indigenous constellation story. And it's about a constellation that you learned about with Tara. So going back a couple weeks ago when Tara did her History to the Stars program. So we're going to kind of expand on that. You are going to need a few supplies today, but this is probably the easiest one for supplies that we've done yet. So you're going to need our printables, and it's only 2 pages today. So really, really, really easy. So just these 2 pages, and then you're going to need a pair of scissors, and you're going to need some glue. And again, I'm going to use hot glue. I find it works the best. Or you can use stick glue. You just have to be a little more patient. Or double-sided tape. This thin stuff works really good. This is actually what we use when we do the program with schools. So this is a good one to use as well for this. And then because we are going to be doing some folding, you can do scoring using a ruler and a utility knife, craft knife. That'll work good. And I'm going to take my glasses off because this light is reflecting on me there. And that's it for supplies. So we're going to jump right in, and I am hopefully going to be able to figure out how to do my split screen here so that we can enjoy our constellation story here. So the very first thing, let's see if I can get this going. Show this in the stream. Perfect. Oh, other way. There we go. All right, let's get going. So the Big Bear and the Seven Hunters. A long time ago, there was a huge bear that roamed over the land. All the beings were afraid of the bear because he was huge, mean, and powerful. He did what he wanted to do when he wanted to do it. He stormed across the land, wrecking homes, destroying supplies of food, and ripping up edible plants and killing all those who stood in his way. This went on for many years. He was not a very nice bear. One day, a meeting was called for the forest animals to discuss what could be done about Mr. Misqua, the big bear. Almost all of the animals showed up for this meeting because they all felt that the situation with the bear was unacceptable. Those animals all agreed the bear had to be removed from the forest. He was too dangerous to be reasoned with. The animals of the forest decided that the 7 best hunters and trackers would remove the bear from their home, and these 7 birds went off to confront Mr. Misqua, who is the big bear. And if you guys look at the pictures of these birds here, I think it's kind of interesting who they are. So we've got the robin, we've got a chickadee here, this is a blue jay, a saw-wheat owl, we've got a gray jay, we've got a hawk, and then this one right here is very interesting because that's a passenger pigeon, and they are extinct now, but that bird was included as one of the best 7 hunters and trackers. The ravens of the forest heard about the 7 hunters' plan. They liked to eat Mr. Misqua, or Big Bear's leftovers, and didn't want their free meals to end. They flew to the Big Bear and told him about the 7 hunters' plan. Mr. Misqua was so angered that the animals would confront him that he ran to meet the 7 hunters. The bear roared and bared his teeth at the birds. The 7 hunters held their ground and didn't fly away. Mr. Misqua was so surprised that he couldn't scare them away that he ran away from the birds. The very same thing, if you confront a bully, you usually don't know what to do and feel insecure and usually stop bullying, right? Mr. Misqua and his pursuers were so fast that they flew up into the northern night sky, And just as this happened, the bear was mortally wounded, and he turned and faced his attackers. Mr. Mesqua, the big bear, was bleeding badly, and he shook, as a wet dog would shake. And as he did, blood from his wound fell down onto the earth and landed and stayed on all of the broadleaf plants. And this is why leaves change color in the fall from green to red. He also splattered a drop of blood on the bird that mortally wounded him. Can you guys guess which bird out of the 7 hunters has red on them? This day, Pipichu, the robin, has a red chest from that blood. Pipichu was the brightest of the 7 hunters and was honored by being granted a special egg that is the color of the sky and has speckles that represent the stars. And so that is the constellation story about the big bear and the 7 hunters. And if we look back at this constellation that we've been working through, you guys all know it as the Big Dipper. So it's a beautiful constellation, and this is one of my favorite stories too. So we can now start working on our project we're going to be doing here. So let me just hide this, and I am going to stop screen sharing there. Perfect. So great story. I would love to hear if any of you guys have some other constellation stories that you would want to share with us, Indigenous constellation stories. There's so many really good ones out there. And I know that Tara did share them a couple weeks ago too, a few of them. So this is our book here that we are going to create that illustrates the story of Mr. Mesqua, Big Bear, and the 7 hunters. So before we start, there is on this sheet, there is a white box here. And that's for you to write your name in because this is your book, so it's going to belong to you. So I'm just going to quickly write my name in here. So let's see here. I'm going to write Maddy. I've got my name in there. The first thing we're going to do, and you guys need to be listen very carefully on these instructions here because they can be a little tricky and I'm going to go really slow. The first thing we need to do is cut out the white border all the way around, all the white area on this side here, okay? All the white area. So I'm going to start cutting off all the white area, and that's the side. Look at it from this side where the stars and the writing is. So cut along the edge, and then this section here all the way around. So we don't want to see any of the white border on here anymore. So we're going to cut, and we're going to go nice and careful so that we, nice and slow and careful so we don't mess up our book. And if you guys have any questions or comments, Tara from the museum, my lovely staff, is in the comments there. So you can see here I've just cut off that piece, and I cut off that piece there, and I'm going to continue to cut around this edge here. Don't want to see any whites. I kind of jumped right in this, but I did want to say good morning to everybody. It's going to be a fabulous day outside today. So now that you have all of your white parts cut off, so I cut off that section here, that section down here, and then all the way around my book, you'll notice that there are some black dotted lines right here. And they are on for the four corners of the blue and green section here. So there's one here, there's one here, there's one down here, and there's one here. I want you guys to cut only on the dotted line. We're only going to cut on the dotted line. So don't cut past them. So I am only going to cut a little tiny ways down. You can see that's all I'm cutting down, just a little bit. So I've got a little tab. All right, that's all you need. So just cut on the black dotted lines, and we'll continue going all the way around doing this. I'm going to continue on this one here. Let's see those ones a bit better. We're going to cut that. So there's the next one. And then I'm going to do this last one here. So you should have 4 tabs. So you've got a tab, a tab, a tab, and a tab. So we've done all the cutting for the outside of our book now, and we are going to do the folding. And since we did have these on cardstock, if you were able to purchase our packages, I really recommend scoring this first because it will make it a heck of a lot easier to fold after. So you would have got a thumbtack in your package, so you can pull out a thumbtack, or a really sharp pencil would work for this too, or a pen that's not working anymore. You don't want to draw on your picture. So I am lining up my ruler. I'm going to line up my ruler, see if I can get that, right here, and I am going to score along this line here, and so that I have my cover has a fold right on the edge here. So we're going to do that. And there's a white line there too. So just follow along that white line. So I scored that, and then it should fold. So you can see where my fold is. Now I'm going to score it right here. So we're going to make the spine of the book next. Yeah, just follow the little line that's there. So if I fold this now, I have the spine of my book, and I've got the cover. Okay. Next one we're going to fold is this line right here. This one's really easy to see because it's different colors. So these are the pages here of the book. So we're going to score along this line to fold it. All right. So we're going to fold this down. So now we have those all done, all folded. You kind of have a rectangle box now. We need to work on the top and the bottom. So we are going to put a score, a fold line all the way across here, all the way across. So I scored up there, and I'm going to fold these tabs down. Fold that one down. I'm going to fold this one down, and our last one down. So I've got those all folded, and I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom now. Right? Same thing on the bottom. I'll lay it down flat, get my ruler. Have you guys been keeping up with your happy thoughts jar? I know that I have been putting in a lot of happy thoughts about the weather lately, and the birds that have started to come back. That's pretty exciting. I did see Pikachu the other day, the robin outside. So we've got everything folded up nice. So if you fold it all up, you'll have a little book. And we're going to glue it together now. And the gluing part's really easy. You have 4 white tabs, one on each corner of the book. And we're going to put glue on the tab, and we're going to glue it on the inside of our book. You'll see that one side is white and one side is green or blue. We want to make sure that the white side is the side that gets glue on it. All right, the side that gets glue on it. So I'm going to add a bit of glue, or if you've got that double-sided tape, great time to open that up, put it on here. And you're really going to want to make sure that this part of your book is very strong and that you haven't rushed through this, because this is what's going to hold together the rest of the diorama that we are building. So we've got this nice corner here, and now we're going to go and do that on the next side right here. Right. So I'm going to put a bit of glue on here. And I'm going to just glue that into place. Now the bottom of my book is all in place. I need to do the top part though. So I'm going to put some glue on this tab. And I'm going to glue it into place. And then we have one tab left, this one. I'm going to put some glue on that. And glue it into place. And you guys will have a book now. So if you open it up, we've got the story, we've got, it looks like pages on the outside, we've got a spine here, and then we've got kind of the summary of the story on the back. Sometimes these print a little weird, so you can see on mine there's a bit of extra kind of little paper here, so you can just cut that off. That's what I'm going to do right now. You see that little white tab? Yeah, I don't want that there, so I'm just going to cut that off. And on to the other side. So we have the cover for our diorama built, and now we can go on to the inserts of it. So you should have one other page, and it looks like this. And we are going to cut out very first this really big one right here with the 3 birds on it. We're going to cut out this really big one. All right. And make sure you don't cut off the fold tabs. That's kind of important. And if you can't cut right on the birds, that's okay. You can kind of cut around them, and I'll show you what I mean here. You cut around the hawk. So you can see I have cut around, so there's a little bit of a white edge, and that's okay. It looks really good like that too. You don't need to cut right on top of the birds. Around. This page, we've got the chickadee, we've got the hawk, and we've got a passenger pigeon on here. So this page is done. Now what we can do is fold it. So we've got 2 folds we need to make. We need to make a fold down on this white line, and then down on this white line here. All right, so we're going to score this again with our ruler. We're going to take a ruler, put it along our white line, and then just score that. And I'm going to do it on the other side too. And now that you've scored it, you should be able to fold these 2 tabs back. You want to fold them back. You can see I folded it back, so it's in behind. And I'm going to do that with this one too. Sarah makes fun of her cutting a whole lot on this show, but let me tell you, she's improved a lot. Practice makes perfect, right? So we're going to put this into our book now. And it's really simple. So I'm just going to open my book up, and this page kind of flips, keeps going like this. So I'm just going to make sure I fold it this way right now so that it holds open while I'm working on it. Okay, now it doesn't flip around too much. And we are going to stick our picture inside of our picture like this. All right, so the two tabs that you have on there, we're going to put glue on them right now. And double-sided tape works really good for this part. So if you are using like a liquid glue or a glue stick, the easiest way to do this is to do one side at a time. So we're going to put glue on this long edge to start with. I'm going to put glue on the long edge. And then, and let's see if I can show you guys this. Well, we're going to stick this side into our book, and push it all the way up to the side, right here. And I'm just going to use my hands to stick it in there. See, my fingers are underneath, and I'm making sure that it's up against that wall and it's got a really good contact there. So it's not falling out. It's in there really good. And now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue right here. I don't need glue all the way down, and if I put glue all the way down, it's going to smear when I push it in. I'm just going to put a bit of glue right here. And then I'm going to, oops, put that into my book right here. If you guys can see that, it kind of pops out of the book. Very 3D. Now that we've got that layer done, we're going to work on our next layer. And our next layer is the one with the chew and the gray J on it. So we're going to do this one next. It's the middle one. And we're going to cut all the way around it just like we did with the big one we just did. It also has a number 2 at the bottom of it, so we're cutting out number 2, this one. What I really like about the story about the Big Bear and the 7 Hunters is that the story is still going on today. As the stars move in the night sky for the different seasons, it looks like the 7 Hunters, which are their own constellation, and the Big Bear are still running. So the 7 Hunters are running after the bear to this day. Just depending on which season you're in, you can see them rotating in the night sky, which is pretty neat. So I finished cutting out my next piece. And again, I'm going to score along this edge here, and then I'm going to score along the bottom edge so that I can make nice crisp folds. Just like we did before, I'm going to take my ruler and score those edges. I got one scored, and we're going to do the next one. And we're going to fold just like we did last time. We've scored it. We're going to fold this one back, that one back, and then we're going to fold this one back too. So now we've got these two here. We are going to glue this into our book too. The same thing like we did last time, which we were going to put glue along the long edge, and we're going to stick that into our book first. glue along the long edge and then stick that into our book. So I'm going to open up my book again, and I'm going to put glue along the edge all the way down, and then I'm going to stick it into my book, just like I did last time. And the trick with this one is that you want the edge of the tab to line up with the front of this one here, so that this one, the one we just put in, sticks out just a bit. Make it look a little more 3D. See how it's sticking out there? So once you have that one in, we're going to glue the bottom now. And just like we did with the other one, we're going to add a bit of glue just on the end here to stick it into place. And once that's glued on there, I'm just going to stick it in there. I should have 2 layers in my frame here. Next thing we're going to do is cut out the last 2 pieces of our picture. We're going to cut out this one, and we're going to cut out the bear as well. So you guys can start working on that. Do your best job cutting these guys out. Were you guys able to figure out what was in Kara's mystery suitcase this week? I know I'm very curious to figure out what you put in there. It's been an adventure every week for sure. So I have my bear cut out, and I'm just going to put him aside right now. And then I'm going to cut out the last picture, number 3. And it's really important that you don't cut your tabs off. I know when we've taught this class before, we've had a few people cut the tabs off, and it's very important to keep those tabs on because that's how it sticks into the book. Great. And I just have to cut along this edge here, and then this one is all cut. So now we have our last birds, and we've got our bear. And what we're going to do is we're going to add these 2 together as our last layer in our diagram, or diorama. There we go. So we're going to score on all of the tabs again. So I'm just going to clean up my workstation here, get rid of all of the scrap paper that I don't need. And I'm going to score along lines again, just like I did with the previous ones. This makes folding way easier, especially because these tabs are quite narrow. It can be hard to just fold them if you're using cardstock on these. So I've got this one done for the scoring, and I'm going to fold them back, just like I did with the other ones. Fold them back. Great. So they are folded back, and I'm going to do the same thing with the bear. I'm going to score along this tab on the bottom. So put a score there, and now I'm going to fold that tab back. So now both the bear and my last birds are scored together like this. So what we're going to do is we are going to glue this, our last 2 birds, onto the end of our bear. So it almost sits on like a shelf. So if we're looking back here, the birds are going to just glue right onto the shelf right here, right onto that shelf. So we're going to add glue onto this part right here and then glue it onto that shelf area. Just add a bit of glue onto the bottom, and we're going to glue it onto that little shelf area. Great. So now we've got our bear, our Mr. Misquaw, and 2 of our 7 hunters, and now we can put this into our book. And just like we did with the other ones, we're going to put glue on this edge first, and then we'll put glue on the bottom edge. So make sure you put your glue on this side first. Glue on that, and I'm going to stick this in to my diorama. Okay, and the last part, we're just going to glue the bottom of the bear in now too. So we're going to put a bit of glue on the bottom of the bear, and we're going to glue that in. And there you have it. We have our 7 hunters in the night sky. You see Mr. Misquaw at the bottom there. And you have your story so that you can share it with other people. And the constellation, 2 constellations are on the front of Mr. Misquaw and the 7 hunters. And you can put it on your bookshelf so that you can share the story time and time again. So thank you everybody for joining me for this episode of Corn Train, where we learned about Mr. Misquaw, Big Bear, and the 7 hunters. If you are tuning in for free, please consider making a small donation on our website. It helps us out so much. And if you can't do that, please like and share this video. That does more for us than you could ever know. And we are posting all of our videos on our Facebook and YouTube channels, so check out our YouTube too. And we are also updating our Teachers Pay Teachers. So if you do like these printables, we have a whole bunch of other really cool ones that we're not including in Corn Train, so you can go and check them out there. So I hope you guys have a great sunny rest of your day and stay safe.